one of the strangest parts of spiritual awakening is the phase that nobody really talks about. And this is the in-between phase. And that's the moment where this old version of you is falling away and going away. And yet the new version of you hasn't fully stepped forward. It hasn't fully arrived yet. And so you don't feel like the person that you used to be, but you also don't feel clear about who you are becoming. So it's really this in-between phase of this unknown uncertainty. It feels very uncertain. And this space in life, it can start to feel very confusing, very, very lonely. It can feel strangely still, just like everything is just paused. The pause button has been pushed. And it's like you're stuck between two versions of your life. The old version of you and the new version of you, this in-between phase. And this phase is important. It is important because it's the space where the old identity is truly dissolving, and then the real self can emerge. The real self can begin to emerge, like I'm thinking of the butterfly now, the butterfly emerging and taking its first flight, after all of this transformation inside the cocoon. And so this in-between phase is a real phase and an uncomfortable phase of spiritual awakening. So there are many signs that I could tell you about this phase, but there are three phases that stand out that are indicative that you may be going through this. And the first one is your old life does not resonate anymore. There are things that you used to enjoy doing that you don't enjoy doing anymore, that you've truly lost interest in them. People, places, and things, all of these kinds of things. You're truly not the same person. So the second sign is that you feel very disconnected from people. Gosh, I can relate to this right now. I can so relate to this. You feel very disconnected from the people that you've always dealt with in your life, that you've done things with, friends, family, even your close people that you may live with. I mean, it can even be your spouse that you feel disconnected from. And that's because we're in that phase where we're still in this unknown area before everything really, really starts to integrate and we really start to step into who we truly are and that better up-leveled version of us. Another thing that's indicative that you might be going through this is that, like I said earlier, it just feels like the pause button has been pushed, just paused. And it's like I will find myself just not knowing what it is I'm supposed to be doing. What am I doing? What am I even supposed to do for this day? What am I doing with my life? All of these questions will arise. And I'm telling you, it is an uncomfortable place to be. But again, I know that it's necessary for our growth. I know it is. And these pauses, they bring us back to a space where we have to feel, we have to connect with ourselves. We have to really, really connect with ourselves, which is, spirit, God, has an interesting way of bringing us back to ourselves. And many times it's through discomfort. And this is an uncomfortable phase in between. Think about it. In between who you've always been and who you are becoming. And even though it's confusing and it's vague and it's like, I'm not sure where all this is going, in my heart of hearts, I do know where all of this is going. I do know that I am leveling up into a more expansive version. And you are too. That's what's happening to us. It's hard to understand. And spiritual awakening in itself is tricky. And you guys know this. It is a journey. It is a journey. And it's not a quick thing. It's not a snap your fingers and this is done and yay, it's time to celebrate and all this. It is a journey of remembering and a journey of becoming, a journey of evolving. We're doing all this. But this in-between phase is absolutely real, and I know that many of you are going to be able to relate to this. If you can relate to this pause, please let me know in the comments. I'm always very curious to know what you guys are going through as well. And so we have to give ourselves grace. We have to, during this phase, we have to give ourselves grace and compassion. We have to give ourselves compassion, because what you'll find is you'll find a lot of frustration during this phase. You'll find a lot of irritability, confusion, and all of these things that don't feel good. And, we have to be so compassionate and gentle with ourselves. We have to love ourselves through it. That's what we have to do. And that's probably the main takeaway that I want you to get from this today, is that this pause in between phase of spiritual awakening deserves the grace and love, all the grace and love that you can possibly give it, to help you transition just a little bit easier. And I find that when I can do that, when I can do that part of it and be so loving and kind to myself, which is what I really need, what we all really need, then it definitely goes much easier. It goes much easier. So if you have found value in this video today, please give me a like or a thumbs up or subscribe. Would love to have you as a subscriber on this channel. And we're going to get through this. We are getting through this pause and this in-between stage. We're doing it together, and I appreciate you being here. And I'm going to catch you on my next video.